Good afternoon. I'm Casey Dogle, School of Education faculty member, and on behalf of Dr. McAllister and the entire School of Education, we are honored to welcome you to the Spring 2023 School of Education Graduate Pinning Ceremony. We know that each person here with us today has played an important role in helping these graduates reach their milestone, and we thank you. Graduates, please stand and turn to offer a round of applause to thank the friends and family who have supported you through this journey. Graduates, we are so proud of all of you. You have worked hard and persevered to achieve your goals. Determination, flexibility, and strength are skills that you have developed as you have pursued your goal to become an educator. These skills will be valuable assets to you as you move forward. The exciting new journey as an educator is about to begin, and we know that you will excel in making a difference in the lives of so many young people and their futures. We feel blessed that you have chosen Chipola College and are honored to have had the opportunity to play a role in helping you reach your goals. Let's take a moment to acknowledge the faculty who have been so instrumental in preparing you. Faculty, please give our graduates an opportunity to thank you with a round of applause. Now, if everyone will please direct their attention to the screen as we enjoy a presentation of our graduates. Each of the graduates has shared a quote that also reflects their thoughts on education.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Jawan Clark, faculty member in the School of Education. Each year, we select graduates to share a special graduation message with their peers. It is my pleasure to introduce to you one of your fellow graduates, Megan Blaylock, English Education, who has prepared a few words to share with you today. Please welcome to the podium, Megan Blaylock.
Hello, everybody. So as you know, my name is Megan Blaylock, and I have prepared something for y'all today, a little parting wish, as you may. 2 years ago, we started our trek up the mountain known to us as the pursuit of an education degree. We almost said English education degree. You know, I'm an English major. We started it together, and today we are sitting on top of that mountain, victorious. What seemed like Mount Everest then has become one of our greatest accomplishments. We completed a program that was designed to foster in us the skills needed to be magnificent teachers. This season of our lives, all the hard work that we have put in is finally coming to fruition. Whatever we faced on our way up this mountain, we faced it together. If it wasn't for a merciful God and the group sitting in front of me, I never would have made it to this point. Whether we were taking online classes, pretending to be first grade students in Ms. Dokal's classroom, learning Encouraging Cake and Chants with Kylie in Dr. Clark's classroom, for reenacting the Crucible with Mr. McInnes, which was really fun, by the way, uncovering the mysteries of grammar with Dr. West, or enjoying Thanksgiving dinner as a family in Dr. Johnson's class. We did it all as a team. In my opinion, this is the finest team that I have ever been a part of. The past 2 years that I have spent with you have absolutely been the most impactful and influential years of my life up to date. But now, we are finding ourselves in a position to be the impactor as well as the impacted, and the influencer as well as the influenced. This next season of our life is just as important as the last one. In it, we will learn more about ourselves not only as teachers, but as individuals. Our philosophies will develop with time and experience. Our minds will be changed by the students that we interact with, and our lives will be transformed by what we encounter. In a few short months, we will welcome our reasons for being here into our classrooms for the first time. As daunting as this may seem, I think I speak for all of us when I say that I am filled with immense joy and excitement, knowing that I will be able to touch the lives of so many young lives and brilliant minds. As we go out into our classrooms, if you decide to stay here in this amazing community or travel the world with your talent, never forget how incredibly capable you are. You have grit, you have resilience, and you are intelligent. You are going to change lives. You are going to do great things with your gift for teaching. Remember, despite everything you face on this journey as an educator, you have a team behind you, ready to stand with you and help you up your mountain.
Thank you, Megan. That was awesome. It is also my pleasure to introduce another one of your fellow graduates, Sean Dutcher, as he comes forward to share a few encouraging words. Please welcome to the podium, Sean Dutcher.
Good morning. No, it's afternoon. The best thing I've heard today is that I'm a college graduate. I'm not a faculty member, even though it may look like I am. So I'm glad to be a colleague of yours. 34 years ago, there was a book that was written. You may be familiar with it. I'm going to quote from it today because asking graduates last semester what they remember about what was said to them, they said, "I don't remember anything." And I didn't want to just stand up here and tell you blah, 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 and you wouldn't remember anything. So graduates, this is for you, and all of you can listen to. The book is called We're Going on a Bear Hunt. Oh, I just love it, don't you? It goes like this for those of you that don't know. It says, we're going on a bear hunt. We're gonna catch a big one. I'm not scared. What a beautiful day. Oh, look, it's some long, wavy grass. Swishy, swashy, swishy, swashy. Educators, you're going to have grass. And you're going to have to paw your way through it. Because the book goes, you can't go over it, you can't go under it, you can't go around it, you have to go through it. That's what a good teacher does. Because a child, a student, is dependent upon you. The next thing they come to is a deep, cold river. You can't go around it. You can't go under it. You can't go over it. You have to go through it. Next is thick, oozy mud. Some child may need you to get in the mud with them. Sometimes you may feel bogged down in the mud because of administration, because of parents, but still you must go through it. Because a child, a student, is dependent upon you. The next thing is a snowstorm. I'm going to skip it because no one here knows what a snowstorm is. The next thing is, it's a cave. It's a narrow, dark, gloomy cave, and you have to tiptoe, and you tiptoe. You have to go through it. You can't go around it. You can't go above it. You can't go under it because a child is dependent upon you. You may have to go through their worst fears with them. And then in the cave, you feel, you can't see, and you touch, and it's a wet nose. And you feel, and there's two big furry ears and two big googly eyes. And the story goes, you retreat, you run back through the cave, back through the snowing windstorm, back through the dark forest, back through the oozy mud, back through the cold river, back through the grass. But as educators, that's not an option for you because a child is dependent upon you. So even the big scary bear that you hold in your hand, you have to go through it.
Thank you for those encouraging words, Sean. We are privileged to have lifelong educator, Dr. Jesse Jackson, as our guest speaker today. Dr. Jackson is a Florida native. He was born in Jacksonville, where he attended Robert E. Lee High School. He received his bachelor's degree in sociology from the University of Florida, his master's in educational leadership from Florida State University, and doctorate in educational leadership also from Florida State University. He began his career wanting to make a difference in the lives of men who had made mistakes in life. As the director and counselor in a rehabilitation program for ex-offenders in Gainesville, Florida, Dr. Jackson worked to provide guidance and support to help turn these individuals around. Dr. Jackson would eventually accept an opportunity to teach in a high school alternative education classroom in Gainesville, Florida. This teaching job not only reconnected Dr. Jackson with his desire to help, but it also provided a forum for Dr. Jackson to build positive relationships with his students and their families. After spending more than 13 years as a classroom teacher and athletic coach, Dr. Jackson went on to become an assistant principal, and school superintendent. Dr. Jackson's most notable accomplishment as an educator was leading a team of educators that transformed an average school district into a high-performing one, including improving the district's graduation rate from 70% to over 95%. Please welcome Dr. Jesse Jackson.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I really did want you to say something back to me, right? So what's my connection to this community, and why am I here? Why was I selected? Well, it really is all about the dean. The dean and I became acquainted with one another, let's say over a year ago. In fact, 1 year ago, I participated in a virtual pinning ceremony as a member of the Florida Department of Education. And in fact, that's our real connection. I worked in the bureau that supports programs like the East Chipola College program. And so we became familiar with one another, but really more, I was enamored with her and the great work that she was doing and is doing, actually. So I'm gonna do something that I don't normally do. I'm gonna read the first part of what I have to say to you because I think it's that important. So to begin my remarks, I want to share a quote from Orrin Woodward, who said, "Average leaders raise the bar on themselves. Good leaders raise the bar for others. But great leaders inspire others to raise their own bars." And I thought about the dean, and I wanted to share that with you because, to me, she's that type of extraordinary leader, that she has worked extremely hard to coalesce a body of people, her faculty and staff, to raise their bar of understanding and commitment to the work, and that's why you're doing such a great work here at the college. And so I would commend you, Dean, and your faculty and staff for the great work that you're doing. As you look into your future with great anticipation, and I'm talking to our graduates, for successful careers as educators and teachers, I'm going to share a little story or some snippets of stories with you that I think will highlight what really was just said by the other speaker. When I was a middle school teacher here in Tallahassee, Florida, working at a middle school, and it was in a brand new community. It was a brand new school. It was really a wonderful place. I had just moved from St. Petersburg up to Tallahassee. The school was brand new, just opened up. Wonderful school in a I'll say a sort of a ritzy kind of community. I didn't really live in the community, I just taught there. So we opened up this new school, and man, we're cranking it out. We're doing a great job, or so we thought. So I'm a teacher, teaching 7th grade social studies, and I noticed some students in the school. Some of them were my students, but not all of them. And what I noticed about these students, they were having a difficult time fitting in to that school community because they really didn't live in that neighborhood, in that community. They were actually bussed in from the outside. They actually lived in sort of the countryside in trailers and things like that. But they're now in this gated community school, and boy, they were having a difficult time. Part of the issue for them was they were not preppy. They didn't have fancy clothes. Their parents didn't come in Suburbans or whatever, dropping them off. They were on a school bus. There were times when the weather was bad in their area where they lived, and there would be these large bodies of water that would be created because they didn't have regular paved roads there. And so in some cases, they didn't even come to school because they couldn't get out from where they lived. But now they're in this school community where we got these people that were fairly well off. And these kids were having a difficult time fitting in with that group of students. But I peeped that out. I saw it. I saw what was going on, partly because these young men were African-American boys. And they would be angry, and they would fight, and they would do all kinds of things that were not acceptable. So I took it upon myself. I go and I meet with the principal. Again, we're all new to this school, to this environment. And so I asked the principal if she would allow me to do something about what I had been observing in that situation, which the kids were having a difficult time sort of fitting in. And it sort of goes both ways. The kids that lived in that community, you know, they were all that, and they let you know it, right? So the principal says, and she was Cuban, Margarita Sassi, she says, Jess, if it's something that you think you can do, sure, go about it. Now, remember, I'm a 7th grade social studies teacher. I have 144 students. I'm fixed. I don't really need to have other projects. But wait a minute, you said that you went and you asked the principal if you could do something about it. I did, because I saw something that I thought was not right. So the principal said yes, and I came up with this idea. What if I could get those boys that were having a difficult time to believe that they were something special? What if I could get them to go along with this idea that they were not the trash of the school, they were something special in the school? So I drafted up a letter. And this letter says, "Dear John Doe, you have been selected to become a part of the young leaders group of the school. As a member of the young leaders group of the school, you're going to do these things. You're going to be responsible for these things. You're going to go to these places." The parents received the letter, right? Their child has been getting into trouble constantly in this brand new school. They're trying to figure out, did somebody make a mistake? How in the world could they say to my son, it's going to be a part of this leadership group, when all I've gotten from that school has been a phone call to say he's been suspended again? But they got that letter. And they weren't telling anybody the truth about what was really going on. They were going to just let this thing play out. So I began meeting with these young men. Again, some of them were my students, but most of them were not my students in my classes. And as we began to meet together, some days we would sit down and talk about how to improve your grades. Sometimes we would get together and we would take a field trip to an elementary school to sit down and read with students in the school, or do math problems with students in the school. But wait a minute, Jesse, you said that these were the kids who were having a rough time in school. Yeah, but I also said that we were going to try to change how they saw themselves and what they did for themselves. So we would go on a trip to another school. We also did Habitat for Humanity, where we went out and worked on helping to rebuild or build a house for someone that needed it. These are middle school boys. There were certain days that those kids were required to come dressed up with the shirt and tie on. Why? So that they could look different. Other times, when we would have a school activity, I actually had gotten the principal to agree to buy a popcorn machine. And so these young men had a business when we would have activities, school activities. The business was they sold popcorn. And what I did was I let them handle the money and all of the operation. Now, you're a boy that had been constantly in conflict. Nobody ever trusted you because you were always on the wrong side of something. And then all of a sudden, your life changes. Not because you were so great or anything else like that, but because somebody took it upon themselves to build a relationship with you of respect, responsibility, of trust, of hope, of decision-making. And all of a sudden, you begin to see the world in a different way. People aren't all bad. And people aren't out to get me. What happened was that those boys began to make much better decisions about things. In such a good way, the principal gets a phone call, many phone calls all the time, from parents who were upset that their sons were not in this club. What? They were angry because, hey, how come my son is not a part of Young Leaders? It was really that transformational. But it just began with paying attention to a detail. And the detail was what was going on outside of my realm my world as the teacher of students, but some of those other little subtle things that are happening in that school environment. Really, my message for our graduates is this. There'll be lots of responsibilities that you're going to have teaching and providing instruction and being a monitor in the hall and cafeteria duty. Tells you how much I went into the cafeteria. I can't even say it right. But there will be those subtle things in your life that if you're paying attention to, could lead to an opportunity to make a difference, to redirect. Because remember, there's nothing that I did that lessened the responsibility of those young men. I didn't pacify them and say, don't worry about it, they just don't like, none of that nonsense, right? It was, let's become responsible. Let's take charge of our lives. Let's do the right thing. And so it changed those children's lives in a very good way. You will have many opportunities to create honor roll students. But you really do need to pay attention to those subtle things that you will be a witness to. Because, honestly, it will be those subtle things that will make that school good or not so good. You see, when you have a situation like that where these kids were having a hard time and they were fighting and just disrupting things, would you consider that to be a good school? No, not really. So you can make a difference. Did I do anything extraordinary? No, I just paid attention to them, gave them some direction, put some responsibility in their lives, taught them the value of certain things, and reinforced that value with the group. And they became different people, and very good students as well. And in fact, a couple of years after beginning of that program, when that school began to have some racial tensions, guess who the principal asked if they would be the mediators for those situations? That group of young men. You're talking about elevating somebody's esteem, their worth, their value. And again, not because you've pacified them with nonsense, you've just held them accountable to some high standards. And those young men rose to the occasion. Young people, you will be placed in situations where you will have to make decisions about how you're going to respond to the things that you see. So do you bury your head in the sand and say, well, I got to teach. I don't have time to deal with that. It will reflect in your school of how people perceive your school if you ignore and don't take the opportunities. Do you say, well, okay, I'll do this year, but then you just complain about just how bad the school is? It will reflect in your school. Your charge, and you will make your parents very happy, is to do the very best that you can do as a classroom teacher, but also to be very attentive to those little nuances of life that you will encounter, and to make a difference that way. Congratulations, class, and you will serve this community in a great way. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson, for those, or Dr. Jackson, for those encouraging words. Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Mackenzie Johnson, and I'm a faculty member here in the School of Education. Congratulations, graduates. I'm so excited to be here and to support you and celebrate you today. So while we're here today, the pinning ceremony, it's a ceremony that we have adopted from the field of nursing. It's a time-honored tradition that dates back to the 1860s. This ceremony is intended to be a personally meaningful introduction of the brotherhood and the sisterhood of educators. The expectations of a professional educator are outlined in the Florida Department of Education Code of Ethics for the education profession. Please listen carefully as I read the code. The educator values the worth and dignity of every person, the pursuit of truth, devotion to excellence, acquisition of knowledge, and nurture of the democratic citizenship. Essential to the achievement of these standards are the freedom to learn and to teach, and the guarantee of equal opportunity for all. The educator's primary professional concern will always be for the student and for the development of the student's potential. The educator will therefore strive for professional growth and will seek to exercise the best professional judgment and integrity. Aware of the importance of maintaining the respect and confidence of one's colleagues, of students, of parents, and of other members of the community, the educator strives to achieve and sustain the highest degree of ethical conduct. The pin that you will be receiving today is a symbol of your commitment to the education profession, and also a symbol to uphold the expectation of these codes of ethics. Congratulations on your decision to become a professional educator. Each graduate has prepared a message to share with friends and family. Abigail Cozart, an officer of the Future Educators Club and a junior here in the School of Education, will read the messages as the graduates receive their pins. As your name is called, please proceed to the stage.
Lainey Baxter. I'd like to thank my parents, brother, sisters, friends, and extended family for their continuous support and unconditional love. I would like to thank Mrs. Bird as well for welcoming me into her classroom. I would also like to thank Faith and Carly for always encouraging me and being such amazing friends. I would also like to thank Virginia for always making me laugh when the tasks made me want to cry. Ultimately, I would want to thank God for blessing me with these wonderful people and allowing me to be where I am today. Faith Castleberry. I would like to thank my parents, sister, family, and teachers for loving me and encouraging me to do my best. I would like to thank Mrs. Graham and her class for showing me so much love this year. But most importantly, I would like to thank the Lord above for this opportunity and for showing His grace when I didn't turn things in on time. Lastly, I want to thank Carly and Lainey, who I have walked beside in this journey. I love you both. So to end this speech, sorry for procrastinating. Thank you. Sean Dutcher. First, I would like to thank God for putting people in my life to assist me in this journey. Dr. McAllister, your direction and assistance put me on a direct course to be here right now, today. Dr. Johnson, your guidance has always taught me to see through others' eyes more clearly. Dr. Clark, you have inspired me to teach ELA when I didn't before. Ms. Dogle, because of you, I know reading and testing inside out. Thank you to all of you for all those times of pushing me to become future leaders that you can be proud of. Ms. Keynes, thank you for opening your classroom and your life for an intern like me. Ms. White, now your life will return back to normal without any critiques from me. Ms. White's class, keep striving for excellence in everything. To my favorite second grade class, thank you for letting me practice on you. Our memories will last more than a lifetime. Micah, you got to have me as a teacher, but you continue to teach me. Keep true to yourself and your love of science. Mackenzie, keep making the smart choices that you already are. You both have given me so much for me to get this degree. Ambo, without your suggestion, constant support, and care, I wouldn't be where I am today with 3 major surgeries and other roadblocks in this journey. Words simply are not enough, so I won't even try. Just know that I'm still proud to call you daughter and would sign that dotted line over and over again. Oh, and one more thing before I go. Dr. Johnson, I think I will finally be leaving now. Carly Fortner. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time at Chipola, and I am so thankful I got to meet my friends, Lainey and Faith, and my intern teacher, Lucinda Castells. I would like to thank my family for always supporting me. My brother Colton, who has always encouraged me in the Lord. My brother Colin, who has supported me in more ways than he'll ever know, and he is truly one of my greatest friends. My dad, who has loved me through every stage of life, and my mom, who is my best friend and the woman I want to be when I grow up. Through everything, my ultimate strength has come from the Lord. I strive to glorify the Lord in every way I can and continue on the path He has set before me. Cassidy Green. I would like to thank everyone who has helped me through the past 4 years. To Mom and Dad, thank you for helping me to pursue my dream and for supporting me to become the person I have become. To Ms. Miguel and Ms. Bryan, thank you for allowing me to come into our classrooms and make it my own. To Christian, thank you for dealing with all of my stress and anxiety that come with juggling work, school, and personal life. And last but not least, to my littles, thank you for allowing me to be your teacher. You will always be my first kindergarten babies. Love, Miss Green. Leah Kynard. This would not have been possible without the help of so many people. To my husband, thank you for always being the provider that you are, as well as always finding a solution to my problems. To my parents, thank you for all of the long talks of encouragement that helped lift me up when times were hard. To Adeline, Ezra, and Isabella, thank you for always being my biggest fan. To Nana, thank you for your grammar tips. I had to write this quickly, so go easy on me after the ceremony. To the rest of my family and friends, your love and support have not gone unnoticed. I'm just running out of room on this card. To Whitney, I would not have made it through this without you. To Ms. Larson, words cannot express my gratitude for you and all that you have shown me in such a short year. Thank you, Ms. DeBolt, for being my bonus teacher and always being there for me. We are the Three Musketeers. There's no separating us now. Last but not least, thank you for all of my 50-plus students who gave me such a beautiful experience as a new teacher. Caroline King. I did it, guys. Being a teacher has been my dream since I was a little girl, and today that dream is coming true. I want to say the biggest thank you to my intern teacher, Ms. Pumphrey. Thank you for always allowing me to come into your classroom this year. I have learned so much from you and your wonderful class. Most importantly, I want to thank my parents. Mama, thank you for pushing me to complete my dreams. Thank you for showing me what a fantastic teacher is supposed to be. You make me want to be the best person that I can be. Daddy, thank you for making me smile and laugh during the worst times from the past 2 years. Also, thank you to Chandler, Bryce, and the rest of my family. Thank you to our Lord above as well. Here's to my future. Megan Blaylock. To all those on Team Megan, first and foremost, to my Father in heaven. Without him, I would not be here today. To my family, you have been in my corner since day one. You saw the unfiltered version of me, but you still stood beside me. To my fellow cohort members, we did it, guys. We ran the race. We are coming together today, victorious. To my phenomenal professors, all of you have been crucial to my success, and I could not have asked for a better group of educators to be here for me. You have helped me embrace the suck. To my mentor teacher, without you, Miss Wilkes, I would have never have made it. You are a superhero. And to my amazing students, you guys kept me going. I'm going to miss every single one of you. Never stop believing in yourself because you are brilliant. Chase Corbin. A
massive thank you to Dr. Clark and Ms. Cushing for in equal measure helping me to develop my instructional process and providing wisdom. To the rest of the staff, Dr. Johnson, Ms. Dogle, and Dr. McAllister, thank you for your insight, certainly for your patience. Thank you to Scarlett, who held my hand up for me when I couldn't, and to my friends and family, thank you for giving me the drive to go to school and to succeed. Lastly, to the 5th and 6th grade classes of Poplar Springs, thank you for showing me just how caring and compassionate of an educator I can be. Kylie Justice. I would like to thank my family, my professors, my friends, and everyone who gave me undying support academically and materially. I would also like to congratulate my classmates for getting here. We did it. Hip, hip, hooray.
Come on, guys, do it with me.
I should have read it like that. I did it wrong.
Heather Griffith. I would like to thank my husband Jimmy for encouraging me to follow my dream of being a teacher, encouraging me every step of the way and never giving up on me. My children, Brandon and Emily, who are my reasons for me to always try and putting up with the crazy we have endured the past 4 years. My math teachers for making math fun, the education department educators who, each in their own meaningful way, never gave up on me, believed in me, and truly made me feel like I'd be an amazing teacher in the future. Joey McDaniel for letting me follow in the footsteps of being the greatest teacher alive. Grand Ridge 8th graders who taught me it's possible to love 80 kids at once. I love you all.
Let's give our graduates one more round of applause. I'm Dr. Gina McAllister. I'm the Dean of the School of Education, and I'm so proud that we are able to provide these opportunities for our community to have awesome teachers like you guys. And I know that you're just going to do some wonderful things. We look so forward to hearing from you in the future about all the accomplishments that you're going to do and all of the lives that you're going to touch. We are so proud to welcome you as colleagues into the profession. Thank you again. We want to thank all of those of you who have joined us for this celebration. I know this is meaningful to each of you in so many ways. This concludes our ceremony. We're going to ask that the graduates stay for just a few minutes and take a couple pictures on stage, and then you are more than welcome to join on stage or step outside wherever you want to take all the pictures that you want. So thank you again for coming. Thank you for supporting the graduates in every way that you have. We look forward to hearing from them again in the future. Thank you.